friends, and welcome to another episode of Try Bonsai. It's your boy Banner, and don't worry, you'll see me periodically checking the microphone to make sure that it is working. I tried a different way of charging it. Anyways, what you're seeing here is a Wrighta Religiousa, and I'll give you a more in-depth look at this. But why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because I am going to try an experiment. And I said it slow on purpose. Because what is happening is that this Wrighta Religiosa grew, or Styrax, grew from under the pot. Right? It grew nicely from under the pot. Now, I have to repot this and put this into something. Here's where the experiment comes in. I don't have a pot for this. I do not have a pot for this. So, I am going to attempt to make a pot for this. And the idea that I have in my head, hopefully it translates properly or it materializes properly, is, as you could see, tools around. Stone and gun to hold, glue and ruler and whatnot. What I'm going to do is attempt to create a pot that would suit this particular planting nicely. So, let me show you the plant and then let me just go. So my friends, I am combating with the rain as well, so I'm trying to move probably as quickly as possible. But as you can see, or can you see? Right, as you can see, it comes from under the pot and it comes up. And there is a massive lead running all the way out like that. And this massive lead is a good probably 2 feet long. So I'm going to remove this lead at this juncture here, using this as a new apex. And I'm going to do some development, because what is happening is that I don't have very many branches coming out on this side, and I want it to look more three-dimensional. Apart from that, friends, there's a cascading piece here that looks nice to me. So I want to keep the cascading piece intact and, have something really very nice. Which brings me back to the original point. I don't have a pot for this. So I have here some slabs, one very nice big one, a little one, and some stones that one of my friends brought for me from the beach. So these were on the shore, and my good friend Celicia got these for me. So, do I know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it? Not particularly, but with some deductive reasoning, and hopefully good use of the tools that are available, because I have a grinder and I have some silicone, I would be able, hopefully, to create a pot using the ruler, taking some measurements and cutting accordingly, and make a pot that looks a bit natural and that gives the look that I want, complementing this particular planting, this particular tree. So all you, wish me luck. Let me get to it.
this year gonna be great. Of course I want to play, I can hardly wait. Dress up like a Baptist woman with a old shoebox in my hand, charging money to see so it's confusion in the band. To see Miss Mary, big and hairy, to see she father, to see she mother. For carnival this year, I have Miss Mary here. Miss Mary.
All right, my friends. So this is as far as I've reached. I put the back of the planting up, and as I go along, I realize that this is indeed going to take some time, because at first this was the front, here was the front, but then I changed that front to here being the front, and then I changed that front to this being the front. So this is the front of the planting as you would see it. This is the back, and these are the sides. What I should have done is taking the opportunity before I put this on to chip away at these sharp edges. But once it is properly well dried, I'm going to take my time and chip away at it over time, not putting too much strain on it. Once it is properly dried, I'll take my time and chip away at it and make it look a bit more natural. So this is as far as I've gotten so far. I have 2 more pieces to put up. This piece, and I'm contemplating what side to put in front versus what is in the back. So I could put this side in front, and this being the outside, as this has the most amount of character, rather than this side, which is very smooth. So put this here on this side, on this side, with this peak. I don't know that I'm putting anything in front here, because what I want to try to accomplish is using soil and clay and mounding up the soil to the planting to a particular height where I could have the cascading bit freely cascading and the apex going up. We will see. Is this too short for the planting? I do not know. So this is one side, and then I'm going to cover the silicone, and this is the other side. So I'll put the other side here, and this could serve as a representation of the height that I'm kind of going for, which I think gives a lot. Now, there's a good bit of depth within this planting to handle the roots, because Styrax Wrighta Religiousa tends to give you a lot of roots. So I believe this is enough depth, and once I take that top bit off, it will reduce the strain tremendously on the existing roots once I plant it up. Now, as we go along, I'm leaving this here. I mean, it's standing up pretty nicely. Very nicely. I kind of like where this is going. I must say so. I kind of like where this is going. I need to look at what I want on this particular rock to be what the outside is. And the reason why I chose these, and I mean, I could still, as I delicately move this, I could still use bits of this to probably create a little bit of a front, just to start off the dirt and then continue with the dirt and clay. to go up higher. You know, I don't know. As I go along, based on how this particular project is progressing, I will adjust accordingly. But for now, this is where I am. So let me see if we could move on to the rest of it. Yeah? All right. Now, before I move on to the rest of it, I would like to thank you also very, very much for subscribing and for supporting. And, I'm taking the opportunity to say that really and truly, and not to be too, what is the word? I still didn't get the word cliche or whatever it is. Yes, the name of the channel is Trying Bonsai. But at the same time, too, we are trying a lot of the different aspects and facets into bonsai. So this is my first attempt at making a pot. And this opportunity was given because I have, as you would have seen, I have a piece of material that needs, to me, as far as I'm concerned, it needs a special type of pot. Mic still working. Anyways, so thank you so very, very much for supporting. If you have not yet subscribed, take the opportunity to do so now. Let's build the channel. Share with all your friends, your family, even your enemies. Somebody else might benefit from what I am doing here, what I'm attempting to do here. Yeah, so share it along, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me keep the thing going. All right. So, my friends, while the pot takes a moment to properly harden and keep still, I keep bouncing this thing and or if too much breeze blow, this keeps falling. So I took the opportunity to take this top off. What I'm going to do with this top now, I'm going to prune back all of these branches, bringing it more in, and I'm going to stick this in some water. Now, this particular species gives you the ability to propagate from several different ways, from cutting, whether it be by branch or a root cutting. Then there is seed, and obviously you could do air layering and whatnot, right? So what I'm going to do, as I said, I'm going to reduce the amount of foliage here and stick this in some water. If it catches, yay. If it doesn't, all right, no worries at all. But I have the main tree here, and you could see it a lot better because I could hold it a lot easier now, right? So I'm going to clean up the cut point, and as I said, I'm going to use, you drop this here, I'm going to use this as the apex, and we're going to exercise some clip and grow, right? So let me get to cleaning this up, pruning this back, and we're going to come back to that pot as it progresses. Yeah? Let me just go. So, friends, as it grew like this, it has a two-dimensional feel to it. Now, I could use guide wire and bring this down, right? I keep raising this thing up where you can't see. I could use guide wire and bring this down. This is, barring it catches on, right? So I've taken the opportunity now to prune back a lot of growth, right? Hopefully increasing the chances of this catching on when I plant it in water. Yeah, so not too much of that. This is very thick and coming up parallel. So you have parallel branches here. And one of these has to go. I took this one off, prune you back. And let's see what comes of this. It's very long. So this is another experiment. Granted, I could cut it shorter, but I kind of like the length and the subtle movement that it has. I could, when it catches on properly, put some wire and accentuate the bends even more. Or when it catches, I could prune it back and reset it. So I'm going to drop this into some water. I have a bucket right here. I'm going to put some water into this, and I have to keep checking it because you don't want to create a space for a lot of mosquitoes, right? You don't want to do that. So the pot there is drying, and I want to add a few more pieces around it to give a bit more character. Now, I'm not trying to make it over excessively heavy because as it stands right now, it's serious rocks I'm using, so it has some weight to it. I don't want to make it too heavy, and the speaker's still working. But I want to see what else could be done to create a bit more character with it. Yeah? So let's clean this up and let me do a little bit of pruning back to this, and let's keep it pressing. Let we keep it moving. So as I said, I have this cascade bit coming down here, right, which I like a lot. Now I have two branches coming out from the same junction here that I could remove, and I have a young shoot going over everything else. So I want to move at least one of them, right? And the reason why I want to move at least one of them is because I would like for the other one to go this way, giving a bit more depth and kind of creating that that pad that we would like to have. Yeah, so this that goes over, I'm going to remove you for the hour, opening up this a bit, and let us see how we could create something here, right? Now, as always, everything is with time. So as I go up, what I have happening here now is that it comes up and it gives you a lot of movement. And to be honest, I'm looking at it, not that I didn't look at it before, but it was recognized what was going on, and a bit of wire was used because I'm seeing wire marks. So that would indicate to you that this was not originally done by me. However, I got it and I was most happy. I was very, very, very happy to have it. So with that now, there is a couple branches that I told you about. These two branches here. And I am inclined to move one of them because they don't look so nice. I will move the one at the end, the one up, as this is closer to the curve, and this one is outside of the curve. Yeah, so we're going to get to that, removing this branch and cutting in just a bit so that it heals over nicely. Granted, it's a scar, but what we want to create is that nice healing. You know, we have this coming out here. This serves as the apex up here. The camera is not showing you, so let me adjust the camera for you to see. Nice. So the camera is adjusted so that you could see. And this is the point where I took off the tall leader. So I'm going to clean this up. Hopefully it gives me a better transition. So as we take another look at this this planting, there's a decision that has to be made. I think we have the cascade bit, but we also have this parallel branch running on this other side, and it does not have any great amount of movement. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cut this back. Where is my ratcheting? I'm going to cut this back with the hope that I get something better coming out of this point, and we could start to create a bit more dimensions. Now, I mentioned before, I don't have much coming out on this side. Right, so you're seeing I don't have much coming out on this side. And I also have this branch that sticks straight out at you. And I'm wondering, what is a good front? This may not necessarily be, and I'm looking from your view, what is a good front for this? So it comes out, it comes up, and it snakes around to here. And I could take this leader back, but I'll leave it for a bit because it will help heal up that cut point. Alright, this comes out. This is growing from under, so this comes out. This as well. Good. Cleaning up that point there. These are not in good spots. Are they? I'm going to remove this fellow. Cleaning up that point. So looking at it from your angle, if this is serving as the front, this comes a bit too straight out at you. So I'm going to cut back to the leaf node way back here, hoping for something different. And I'm looking. This comes out here, kind of straight, but we could always develop something here. This is coming out here. This is here. This comes up here. And we have this here. So, this is all I'm going to do with this for now. Right? If this is the front looking at you, let me see what you see. If this is the front looking at you, you have a clear line of the trunk coming up. Something could be created here, the apex created here. A pad or something of the sort created here. Something could be created around this point here, right? Or even this point. And I may take this off because this might be a little bit too low. I have one coming out of the back. I don't think I want this fellow in the back here. Right. So I have this fellow here. I have this coming down here. And I have this. All right, my friends. So this is where I have gotten to thus far. So I put this front to hold up some of the dirt. What is the intention? The intention is that when I place the dirt here, I'm going to put clay and raise the planting to come down and the cascade bits out. And I seen it in my head. When I put it together, then is when we will know if what was in my head was correct or not. So we reached this stage, and I'm going to leave this to harden and to settle, and then we're going to come back and do the planting. So as I turn, I'm going to walk behind it a bit. As you can see, I added a bit of character to the back of the planting as well. What I have to do is to figure out how I'm going to hide this silicone, because obviously I don't want that showing. So what I believe I may end up doing is, I don't want to make this any heavier than it is already. So I may put some moss here to hide away tidbits and put little shrubs or pieces of moss or whatever the case is to kind of grow and make it look a little bit more natural. Because that is what I'm looking for. I'm going for the natural look. And as I turn around, and I do apologize, I haven't cleaned up the work areas yet for you to see, and all of a sudden the planting is too heavy, so I have to push it back so it could balance this thing. Right. Sorry about that. So I turn in it, and you can see inside here I stuck a little piece to shrink the spaces that I have. So you're seeing I have spaces in between for drainage, right? So I don't have to drill any holes. I have spaces in between for drainage. I should have brought this closer. I didn't pay attention to that, but we go make it work. Every mistake, we're going to take each mistake and make it into something spectacular. Sure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and of course leave your comments. I would love to know, I would really and truly love to know if this is something that you would consider doing. If it is, would you have done anything differently considering the material that you have? And is this a A plus, or is this a D minus? I mean, it's going to serve the purpose that I wanted to serve. You know, as far as I'm concerned, to be very honest, my friends, I am quite pleased with this as a first attempt in creating what I would call an organic pot. Yeah, an organic planting. Let me know what you think. Right, so I will see you very shortly as we move into actually putting the plant into this, I keep calling it a pot. Is that a pot? Yes? Whatever. Oh, yes.